Well, I'm just finished the movie Drive, which I said before, this is a fantastic movie. It got a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes if you follow Rotten Tomatoes. This was directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, which he premiered this at the 2011 Cannes Film Festival, and he actually won Best Director, and the fans went crazy there. Just loving the action scenes, how violent it was, and he got a 15-minute standing ovation for this movie. Ryan Gosling wanted to do an action flick, but he was just kind of not like, wasn't a big fan where the action genre was at the time, but he loved the script, and he actually did a lot of his stunts for this movie. The 1973 Chevrolet Malibu that was in this movie, well, in the scene that I think it was evolved into a crash scene, Ryan Gosling actually worked on the worked on the car and actually took it apart and rebuilt it and made it brand new. Nicholas Winding, he really liked Breaking Bad, so he got Bryan Cranston to be in this movie. When Ryan Gosling got casted, he got to choose who directed this movie, and he went with Nicholas Winding Refn, which he just really liked his previous movies. And Nicholas Winding Refn actually didn't really hold casting calls. He just called in the actors that he thought would be great for the role, and he hired them on the spot. Well, originally, this was going to be directed by Neil Marshall and star Hugh Jackman, but they both dropped out of the movie. Ryan Gosling was kind of on the fence if they could get Albert Brooks in this movie, because he's never really done a movie like this before. This movie cost $15 million to make, and it was a big box office success. It made $84 million. I had no idea this was actually a book. I think the book came out in 2010 or 2011, written by James Hallis, which he did a sequel to Drive called Driven, which takes place 7 years after the first book, where Driver is going by the name of Paul West, and he's engaged, and there's some mobster guys that actually kills his fiancée, so he actually goes after them and gets revenge. And I don't know why they haven't done a sequel to Drive, because this movie was, I mean, it's great. It got great reviews. I mean, it was a success at the box office. There was actually some critics that was really turned off by the violence in this movie and thought, you know, with the violence, it's not going to do well at the box office. Some critics actually said this was the best movie of 2011. And you know what? I can't disagree with them. I agree with them 100%. I think this movie is just so underrated. I think a lot more people should see this movie. Yeah, it's just great. I love it. I'm glad I watched it tonight. So, yeah, thumbs up all the way. 10 out of 10. And I really hope Ryan Gosling actually comes back to do the sequel at some point.